Hey, Curious Connerys. Dylan here. We just want to give you a heads up that the following program contains conversation relating to topics that may or may not include physical and sexual assault and self-harm and mistreatment of different cultures. We are in no way condoning these things. But given that Sean Connery has acted in films going back many years, they've tended to come up. To spin a phrase from Disney, many of these films include negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures that were certainly wrong then and are definitely wrong now. But rather than not discuss this content, we'd like to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and create conversation for a richer future. Stay curious, folks. And now, on to our show.
Connery Curious! Saga! The Last Crusade! You Only Live Twice! And the Anderson Tapes! Murder on the Orient Express! You never know what the wheel's gonna spin next! Marty and a Woman of Straw! And a Voodoo Man in Africa! We are curious of the filmography of Sir Sean Connery.
I am currently recording as well.
Excellent. Yes, we're both recording at this point, yes.
At this point,
Yes.
there's nowhere else to go but recording.
Forgive me, I just wanted to get right off and start with it. Get right off.
That's good.
Oh,
You want-
boy,
you-
I didn't
oh.
want to get off. You know what I mean?
At,
You
le-
know what I'm trying to
at
say.
least buy me dinner first, for goodness sakes.
How about I invite you over for dinner, then I don't follow through with the Italian, and then you invite me over for dinner, and then you order Chinese.
Yes.
There's a reason I wanted to get right to it.
Wow.
I was invited to a concert tonight.
Ooh, where are you
Oh,
going?
Yes, I'm just gonna. Let's just talk in our Connery voices for this.
As always, where are you going? Who are you going
I
to
was
see?
invited to go see William P. Nelson.
Ooh.
Yes, he's playing it at Great Woods.
Oh, the Great Lodge. Oh, you might run into Scott Shoutgate. He tends to. He works there sometimes.
Ah, excellent. I'll say hello if I see him.
Yes.
But yes, it appears William Nelson, Bob Weir and Wolf Brothers, The String Cheese Incident, Los Lobos, and Waylon Payne.
Ooh, Los Lobos.
Yes.
That sounds like a
I
good
was
show.
invited to go see that, so I'm going to ride my bicycle to the train station, and the train leaves at 3:56.
Oh, in that case, let's get rolling.
Yeah.
Let's get rolling right
Yes.
now.
Well, I didn't realize that the show was only from 4:30 to 8:30.
Goodness.
Wait, but here it says it's from 5 to 11.
There's probably probably early access. To get
Yes,
to
I think I can live without Waylon Payne or Los Lobos.
As long as you get there for Willie, that's a good show.
Of
That's
course.
a good show. I saw him at Farm Aid 2016, I believe. They were around in Connecticut for Farm Aid, and I was like, good. I saw I think John Mellencamp was there as well. Willie, of course, and Nathaniel Radcliffe. I got to meet Nathaniel Radcliffe, which was really cool. Not to be confused with Daniel Radcliffe.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, he's not Harry Potter.
I made that joke to him. I actually told I didn't make a joke to him. I was like, how many people ask you that you're I couldn't think of the guy's name when I was saying it. I'm like, let me guess, Harry Potter's kid. It's like, yes, Daniel Radcliffe. It's like, oh yeah, I get that joke all the time. So I appreciate from a fellow person who has a really annoying name. That's like, oh, where's your brother Luigi? You know. So I feel like me and Daniel Radcliffe really connected that day at Farm Aid. But Dylan Titus,
Mario Lima.
welcome.
I'm sorry. I got carried away there. Mario Lima.
Dylan Titus.
Mario Lima.
Dylan Titus.
Mario Lima. Sorry, I
Bert-
got distracted
Bert
there for a
Saxby.
second. For a split second, I got distracted. But I think the best way. People walking up the stairs.
Oh, okay.
I think we should get into this episode proper by lay it down, child. Lay it down, child,
Man.
and walk into this room.
We're in the 90s. We're ending the 90s today. When's the last
Are
time
we
we've done?
ending the 90s? Is this the last?
This is 99.
Really? Oh. Nope, 98.
Is it 98?
Yeah,
Oh.
we've got, how much we got left in the 90s? We got we got Hunt for Red October, Highlander 2, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Just Cause, and Entrapment.
How much of those towards the end of the 90s?
So A Hunt for Red October is 90, Highlander 2 is 91, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves 91. Just Cause 95, so that's 4, and then 5 is Entrapment in 99.
Okay, so Entrapment is the last 90s Connery.
Yes.
Okay, so we're close to it though. So today we are talking about 1998's Playing by Heart, starring Sean Connery, Angelina Jolie, Jon Stewart. Such a crazy cast of people in this movie.
Mario, why are we discussing this film today? Because of what podcast?
Because we do this podcast called Connery Curious, where we go through this wheel of names, and it has every single film on the Sir Sean Connery's filmography, and we spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on, we watch that movie, and we review it for you fine people who listen at home.
Indeed, and it's a good time.
It's a great time. I think I had a decent time watching this movie. I watched it with my wife, so
yeah.
I was like, because like I was like, oh man, I have to watch. I had a really busy week. I was like, all right, I got to get Connery time in. So we had a really big stream last night, but I was like, hey, you know what? We're still wide awake. I'm like, hey, do you want to watch a romantic comedy with Sean Connery in it? She's like, all right, I guess I'll try it. And she actually enjoyed the movie. And so I was pleased with that. And I actually have my wife's scores along with my scores today. So
she's like a ghost guest.
Yeah, a ghost guest, our first ghost guest. So I made sure to get her all her scores along with mine this week. So I'm excited for that part of the show. So yeah, I guess it's
me too. That's awesome.
Yeah, so let's get into this, I guess.
Yeah. So you know what? I think I've changed my mind. So quick aside. The next train is at 5:56. I'm gonna take that one up. I can go without Waylon Payne and Los Lobos and the string cheese incident.
As long as you're sure, that sounds like it could be a killer time.
Yeah, but I just want to. I'll go see Willie Nelson.
We'll see what time
we'll see when the time approaches. Once we pass like the 3:15.
Yeah, we'll see how into this movie we are at that point.
Well, I was very into this movie. I really liked this movie.
So yeah, let's get all the other corporate bullshit out of the way.
Let's talk business.
Business here. Playing by Heart, 1998. It's a comedy, romantic comedy drama. Rated R. Exactly runtime of 2 hours and 1 minute. The Rotten Tomatoes score is a tomato meter of 60%. Audience score of 79%. And I guess let's get into a quick. Do you want to do a trailer voice for us?
Could you say those scores one more time?
We had a 60% for the tomato meter, and a audience score of 79%. Do you agree with those scores, Dylan?
No, I disagree with those.
Higher or lower?
Higher for me.
I think I agree. How much higher? What would be your two scores if you had to give them two scores there for a tomato?
Oh, we'll get to our scores later. It's a higher score for sure. It's a much higher score.
So higher. Okay, higher than okay.
Yeah, I think you'll find that this is one of our better reviewed films.
I think so. Yeah, I was like, because usually. I mean, you think Miramax in the 90s, you think, like, you're Chasing Amy, which we get Chasing Amy.
And Swingers.
And
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Did they own that at the time?
I don't know, possibly. But yeah, so Miramax in the 90s are kind of like, those are the movies.
You get a loving reminder of Harvey Weinstein.
Yes. Yes.
And Bob, who probably committed equally amount of grossness. Anyway, sorry, let's get off that. Let's not get off on that. Let me stop phrasing it like that. I like your Spawn demon shirt. Is that what it is? Or is that Insane Clown Posse?
Oh, no, this is rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. This was one of his characters in WWE called The Fiend. He just passed away like a few weeks ago, and so I'm kind of wearing this in remembrance of him. He was a great character. He's really cool. I know you're not like much of a wrestling guy, but I would look up some Bray Wyatt Fiend stuff. Let's look up his storyline. It was really cool. Really cool stuff.
Send me some stuff.
I'll send you the essential clips that you need to watch.
Okay.
But yeah, speaking of essential clips, I'm sure there's some essential clips we could talk about in this movie. Playing by Heart is a 1998 American comedy drama film which tells the story of several seemingly unconnected characters. It was entered into the 49th Berlin International Film Festival. It stars Gillian Anderson, Elwin Burstyn. I'm going to butcher a lot of these names.
Ellen Burstyn.
Sean Connery, Anthony Edwards, Angelina Jolie, John Moore,
Jay Moore.
Ryan Felipe.
Philippi.
Is it
Philippe? I don't know.
It could be Felipe. It depends on your
Dennis
accent.
Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, Jenna Rollins, Jon Stewart, Madeline Stowe, and the list goes on.
I think it's Gina Rollins?
Something like that.
Poirot.
But yeah, quite the the crazy stars. The poster reminds me of like Valentine's Day. You ever seen Valentine's Day? Like the movie with like it was like a super group of a movie. Like George Lopez was in it. Justin Timberlake, any actor you could think of at the time was in this movie. Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's very very reminiscent of that, but so kind of like same kind of thing, because I feel like for the time it's pretty star-studded.
Oh, for sure.
For very,
it's a great cast.
Very
great cast.
Very good cast. So shall we get into this?
Yes. Hold on. I'm gonna close out a couple of tabs here that are causing distractions.
Too many tabs.
Too many tabs. Yes. All right. Let's do our. No really trailer line. 11 articulate people work through their affairs of the heart in Los Angeles. I thought it was New York. Did you think that?
Wasn't it like?
Yeah, it was definitely L.A.
Yeah, 'cause I was wondering that.
No, wait a second. No.
Well, they talk about
it was New York. They were talking about the Twin Towers.
Yeah, 2 people work in the Twin Towers, so maybe like.
No, they don't. Only one of them does.
There was 2 people that mentioned that they worked there. Well, okay. Oh, that's right. Dennis Quaid is such a good actor in this movie. His character is a good actor. He made me believe he worked at Twin Towers, too. There's one person that worked at Twin Towers.
What a fucking... I really liked this movie, Mario. I had a really good time with this film.
Yeah, there was like some...
I just finished it, for context, about 20 minutes ago.
I did too. We watched the first half last night and the second half this morning. So like when you texted me saying closer to 2 o'clock, I was like, all right, thank goodness. So I can like actually finish this film in its entirety. But yeah, it was... because Alicia called some things in it, and I was kind of like, oh, you think they're going to go that route? Because, like, it's very, before we get into, like, their notes, it's very soap opera-esque, where it's, like, these multiple storylines that you're following, and they go through, like, rotation, where it's, like, your Angelina Jolie story, Jon Stewart, Connery, blah, blah, starts back over, blah, 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 blah. So never know where it's going to intersect if it does at any point. Because, like, for example, that Valentine's Day movie, I don't really think the characters intersect that much at the end. I think they might. But yeah, I guess spoiler-esque.
I've never seen it.
It's worth a watch. It's interesting. It's an interesting movie.
Shall we do the Wikipedia
What?
of this?
You want to do the plot here?
Yeah, but also, hold on. Before we get into that, I have something I want to talk about here.
Talk about it.
I didn't realize it last week. I just realized it the other day when I looked up the movie. Also,
is it a Robin Hood quote, or is this
no,
something about this?
Just okay. Just a couple of things. We're gonna get into it here. Okay. So, Mario, we had From Russia with Love as episode 32.
Yes,
right?
A fabulous movie.
Okay. Sean Connery, Robert Shaw, score by John Barry.
Mm-hmm.
We spin the wheel, we get Robin and Marion. Sean Connery, Robert Shaw, score by John Barry.
Yeah.
This week we spin the wheel, we get Playing by Heart. Sean Connery, score by John Barry.
A third John Barry score.
However, this film was also co-scored by a man named Christopher Young, who did the score for Entrapment.
Ooh.
So,
if we get
that means
you think we'll get Entrapment next?
The wheel can go in 2 directions
Or it can go, well, it can go in three directions. Either it can go to none of these things entirely. It can go to entrapment, or I think the wheel closes out this little cycle and gives us another Bond film, and then we go back into randomness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chances are we'll just get a random movie because we still have about 30 left, 40 left.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, what weird connect? Because again, folks at home, we do not plan this. Like we do not
at all.
We do not fudge the wheel. You know, we had like that one fudge we did where we what movies did we switch out? we had the accidental spin.
Oh, The Hill and You Only Live Twice.
Yeah, so that happened. But
And then
other than that,
Last Crusade.
because of Indy.
Because of Indy.
Yeah, so
and then I think we can be honest with it now. We pre-recorded the Rock episode because my mother was going into surgery.
yeah, so that had to happen. We had like because that was like 3 episodes ahead or 2 episodes ahead. So those episodes leading up, we had to pretend that we didn't watch The Rock yet. Oh yeah.
I'm sure I did some panic editing.
Yeah, it all. See, we're coming clean to you, Connery Curious watchers and listeners.
Exactly, which is what all this movie is about. It's about honesty.
Honesty and love.
Honesty and love.
And love.
Did we just say that at the same time?
I think we did.
Oh, wow. Well, let's give each other sodas next time we see each other.
Absolutely. I owe you a soda and you owe me one. I like Mountain Dew.
Okay.
So yeah.
I like Zevia.
Oh, okay. I'll see if I can.
Not Mountain Zevia. That I don't care for that one. I'll take like a Zevia creamy root beer, please.
Okay, I'll look around for one of those.
They're good.
I like those.
Anyway.
But yeah, it would have been a good Valentine's Day episode. But I'm glad we got it now. Because it's nice. So yeah, let's get into it, man. Should we start the wiki plot?
Yeah, I really liked this movie.
Yeah, man, this was good.
Alrighty. So I don't think this movie takes place in Los Angeles. Do you?
Now that I think about it, yes, because with the track record, especially for the movies we've seen lately, every time something's based in New York, you always get that shot of the Twin Towers and something. And so now that I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of like, and it doesn't feel like New York at all, especially Connery's house at the end, like that's like the hills.
Yeah, it's definitely Los Angeles. Yeah, forgive me. That's ignorance on my part, but I think the Two Towers line threw me off.
Yeah, like well, is he in New York in that scene?
I don't think so.
Huh?
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it was just maybe.
Because
it was an improv class. Duh. She said it first. So he literally just followed along with it.
True.
It's improv.
Damn. This movie's crazy.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So it's LA. Yeah, cuz it's too green.
Yeah, and like it's
too
every like even
unique.
like is like a couple scenes of like, Angelina Jolie in her car, and it's very quiet. It's like a quiet like so yeah.
Not that LA is quiet,
but like like there's
it's not this New York City.
You can get away from the craziness a little bit in LA. New York, you got to get through the grid of wildness before you get a little bit of quiet outside of town. Maybe Queens.
You can tell how well traveled we are, folks.
I've been in New York.
I've also been to New York. I've also been to LA. Have you been to LA?
No. I don't think did you
I only
like
went
it?
to a couple of parts of LA. No.
I don't think I would like it.
I liked it. It was a great experience. I had a wonderful time. And there were some places that were really nice. In-N-Out Burger can fucking shit in the hat.
Overhyped.
Sorry,
I always hear
folks that like In-N-Out Burger. Yeah, oh yeah, it was terrible. The fries were like potato sticks, and the burger was nothing. Like the burger was like that thick. It was a couple of sheets of paper.
Oh man.
Yeah, it wasn't anything to write home about. So I stopped writing the letter. Dearest mother, I'm at In-N-Out Burger, eagerly awaiting my. Oh, never mind.
Never mind. Rips it up.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know if any of the parts of LA that I went to are parts that I'd want to live in. Not that they were dangerous or anything. I felt safe walking through them. It's just not my kind of city.
And I feel like I don't like the aesthetic. I mean, maybe just because I grew up in the East Coast, and like New York, I love. It'd probably be crazy to live in New York, but I think I could do it. I feel like I would like
I could.
if I could afford it. I feel like it's got a charm to it. It's got a great charm to it. Like if I'm in maybe Queens is nice. Gets a little more chill.
I think
I want to be Spider-Man, basically, Dylan. I want to be Spider-Man.
I'd be more suited to a town up in the mountains, like a small town in the mountains. Anyway, I'm getting carried away by
geographical locations,
fantasies of a good life, as are the characters in this movie. Anyway, let's just get into it, huh?
Let's finally get into it.
All right, into the wiki. In Los Angeles, the lives of intertwining characters are shown. Among the characters are an older couple who are about to renew their wedding vows, a theater director and architect navigating a new beginning, a young woman looking for a good time, a gay man dying of AIDS and his mother who had not been close, a couple having an affair, and her husband who is exploring ways to break through the staleness of their marriage. As the stories evolve, the connections between the characters become evident. Hugh is an unhappily married man who regularly hits on other women with an array of lies, one being that he killed his wife and son in a car accident. This is just telling everything in like
hard detail.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. One of them being that he killed his wife and son in a car accident. Another is that on the same day he's fired, his wife and kids left him. In a bar with a drag queen show, he tells one he'd cheated on his wife with her brother. With Valerie from his improv class, Hugh runs into
in a bar.
What? And tells her he does improv better in his life than in class. Okay. Hannah and Paul are planning their 40th anniversary party. I think let's just piss through this thing, huh?
Yeah, get through it, yeah.
Hannah and Paul are planning their 40th anniversary party and renew their vows, although he's got a brain tumor. She keeps wanting to address he's dying, but he's determined not to. Hannah thinks she should stop her televised cooking show, but he won't let her. When she confronts Paul over a picture of another woman in his desk, he admits he never slept with her because he was in love with her. Lonely theater director Meredith dates architect Trent. They go to dinner and later for a walk. He still wears his wedding ring, although he's 4 years divorced. She's also divorced, but also scalded many times. He talks her into making them dinner, but once there, she first tells him they will not have sex, then asks him to leave. She says it's to avoid the inevitable heartache. He gets a do-over, and they connect at his place. Can you take over for a couple paragraphs?
I got your back, brother.
My brain's kind of mush from this.
It's really badly written.
Yeah.
Gracie meets her lover Roger in hotel rooms. What the fuck? Who wrote this? Gracie meets her lover Roger in hotel rooms, then goes home to distant Hugh. Roger, that's my nickname in college.
He's got a distant Hugh about him.
Distant Hugh. Roger would like nothing more than allow their relationship to develop beyond the sex, but she firmly stands her ground. Roger is seeing her because his life has always lacked spontaneity. That's a weird word. Spontaneity. Yes. Gracie, because the spark has gone out. Holy shit! Mark is gravely ill with AIDS and
his voice is definitely gravelly.
Yeah, it's very gravelly. He's gravely ill with AIDS and being looked after his mother, Mildred, after years of.
He's looking after by his mother. He's not looking after his mother.
Anyways,
sorry.
Is strange. Him and his mother didn't talk much. His diagnosis. So, by his mother Mildred, after years of little contact, estranged for years, his diagnosis is how she learns he is gay. He asks her to recite Goodnight Moon to him after he drifts off.
20's Clubber Jones.
What's Clubber Jones?
She's like, I club 20-year-olds.
He's from the 1920s. Clubber Jones.
It's me, Clubber Jones.
Oh yeah, Clubber. He's from the 80s wrestling. He's like, I got a match with Macho
Hey, it's me,
Man.
Clubber Jones.
Clubber Jones, see?
I'll have 2 cigarettes and a donut, please. All right, 20s Clubber Joan flirts with Keenan after having a very vocal, definitive breakup with her ex on the payphone. Over drinks, she goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on about how terrible her relationship was, and then tries to get a date with Keenan, but he gives her the cold shoulder. Even though Keenan says he doesn't date, he turns up at the movies as Joan proposes. Marriage? Anyway. Afterwards, she gets a friend to stage her car getting stolen, so he accompanies her home. But he quickly ducks out. Joan and Keenan admit their feelings, but he admits the love of his life died from sharing needles. Even so, promising to be careful, they start a relationship. Mildred calls Mark... Wait. All right. Say this sentence 5 times fast, folks. Mildred calls Meredith for Mark's funeral.
A lot of M's.
Mildred calls Meredith for Mark's funeral. Mildred calls Meredith for Mark's funeral, as he was the high school sweetheart, then husband who had left her for a man. Returning home with Mildred, Meredith goes next door to her parents, Hannah and Paul's, where the anniversary preparations are well on their way. Sister Gracie appears to help, and little sister Joan breezes in at the last moment. Roger officiates the ceremony, and we see all 3 sisters on the dance floor with their men and their parents. Even Gracie and Hugh seem to have reconciled.
Okay, right there. Can we? I know we're jumping way ahead, but how?
Where we've done the whole movie.
Yeah,
now.
but how insane was the Roger reveal as like the priest? What?
Mario, in my notes, second to last note, the priest with 3 exclamation points. Like he killed somebody or something.
Oh my god, yeah. It was just like that last like hour or so when they start revealing how all the characters are related. I was just like, oh my god, the daughter. Oh my god, the son.
The daughter.
Oh my god, the priest. You know,
There's no son. Is there a son?
I don't think there's a son now, but
well, Mark, but we.
well, yeah.
But
Well, no, yeah.
revelation
Well,
is
no,
that
yeah. The son was.
He was the ex-husband.
Yeah. So like, what
Yeah,
crazy writing in this movie? Just like so many insane connections. I was like thinking, I'm like, I have a feeling these guys got to be connected in some. But it's like it's a fun guessing game of like who's connected to who, and like I think Alicia did speculate that like because they met like as Connery mentions the kids. And we're like, oh, one of those 2 is the kids, but then we end up having 3 daughters.
Right, I did not see that coming.
Because like the first 2 reveals are crazy, but then Angelina Jolie is the 3rd daughter, and I was like, what? And it was just like insane. I thought it was crazy.
Shall we go through our notes?
Yeah, I got like weird sporadic notes because I did 2 parts, and I was heavier on the first watch through. But I remember.
I only have about 3/4 of a page.
Yeah, so there you go. And I got the plot here is basically good for notes because it's like it really is like to remind me.
Is it? I had trouble fucking saying it. We both did.
Yeah,
we
but
both had trouble reading these words.
Yeah, but I at least like can like I can look over it if I need it because it's
like Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. He killed his mother when he was young. It's like this is the Wikipedia for A New Hope.
Right. Let's see. So yeah, let's start off. So I got it.
Sorry, spoilers.
I gotta. I guess this. If you guys haven't fucking seen Star Wars, you losers.
Whoa.
My first. I'm kidding.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
Hey. I haven't seen Star Wars.
Well, you're a loser.
Whoa.
Anyways, in association,
My background just changed, and there's an eagle.
There's an eagle here. In association,
Did you listen to last week's episode?
Not yet.
Oh, I took your eating of a Pop-Tart and I made it ASMR.
Oh, thank you.
Because you really did a lot of crinkling with the wrapper.
I was right on the mic doing it while you were
Yeah,
gone. It was so
I
funny.
made it like move side to side.
Ooh, oh, I gotta listen to that. So yeah, my first note was in association with Morpheus, red pill or blue pill.
Yeah, that was my first thought. I didn't write it down, but I was, what if I told you that all of these people are connected?
Yeah, right. that would have been a Matrix moment. 326 is our first Connery sighting.
I put 321.
Ooh, off again. Interesting.
Yeah, let's call it even and make it 323 and a half.
323 and a half.
Even though I think it's really 322.
Yeah,
I think
something
that's
like
when
that.
he first enters the frame.
You kind of do you hear him? You hear him off screen
No.
at first, don't you?
No, she. Well, what you hear off screen is a note I made twice because you hear it twice. Viagra.
Viagra. Oh, that's
Jay
right.
Leno is on the TV talking about Viagra.
That's right.
Making cheap jokes about Viagra.
He was watching a lot of late night in this movie. After that, he's watching someone else too at the end.
Well, yes. So the next Viagra is by Bill Maher.
Yep.
Now, what I'm wondering is if this is deliberate in the film as like a commentary on like this film is all about people attempting to secure their love, right? Where that is literally like what Viagra is. Like, I'm trying to secure my love. You know, I'm trying to make sure I have a hard on. You know? I wonder if that's what the commentary is of that, because it comes up twice.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Actually, I didn't catch that. Interesting.
You know what else comes up twice is, lay it down, child. Lay it down, child, and walk into this room.
Don't let him get to your spark.
Okay. Next note of yours, any?
It's kind of I said Slim Shady in the elevator. There's that one guy with the hood on at the beginning when Angelina Jolie's in the elevator.
The priest.
And then like he just looks like Slim Shady.
Wait, Angelina Jolie?
Angelina Jolie's, is that her? That's her.
No, it's the middle sister.
It was.
No, it's the oldest sister.
That's
Gracie,
right. So yeah,
it's Madeline Stowe as Gracie.
So yeah, and then the priest was in disguise, and he looked like Eminem now.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Imagine if it was Eminem and he just starts rapping at her.
Oop, there goes gravity.
But it's like Eminem now, where his raps are, it's like they're only like slightly offensive, and he's got that weird like
and way too fast.
Yeah, really fast flow.
Like, why you gotta go so fast, bro? Slow down. And then last up, before I pass it over to you, this is more of a question. Have Dennis Quaid and Harrison Ford done a movie together?
Okay, so I think in that scene, knowing what we know about that film, about
that character,
that Hugh is
you think
doing an improv
he
class,
was doing Harrison?
I think he's doing Harrison Ford.
Maybe, yeah.
I think he's he killed my wife, my family. I've got to get my daughter back.
Yeah.
Off Air Force One.
Yeah, do you think he was like doing Fugitive or something? Like,
I think
he was doing Fugitive, which was '93. So like he must have been doing Fugitive or something. It was so, because like even Alicia was like, is he related to Harrison Ford?
Let me share my screen. Enable that again. Because they look so ridiculously alike.
Yeah, and people have always said that that they look kind of alike, and I've always agreed with that. But yeah, the way he was talking in that scene, I'm like, that's Harrison Ford, man. I think he's doing Harrison Ford. I agree with you.
Like, I'm gonna share the screen. They've never acted together, which is frankly a crime. But look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Even
They
that,
look
yeah.
so much alike.
Oh my god. and they're not related at all. Like they look like they could be brothers. At
They
least.
could play it. They should play brothers in some films.
Yeah, like oh my god,
they get too
that
old.
would have been fun in the new indie. Like, what if there's like a brother they didn't know about, and it was Dennis Quaid, and like that'd be such a cool connection.
It's me, Indy, your evil brother.
Yeah, his evil brother. But yeah, I thought that
Ghost
was.
Connery comes. I'm sorry, son. I didn't warn you about my other son.
My other show.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Actually, no. He was your mother's kid.
We shepherded them when they were twins. Dennis Quaid went to Dagobah. Dagobah sister.
Wait, I don't understand. He's so much younger than me.
What's their age differences?
I don't know. You'll have to Google it. I don't know how to use this computer.
I'll look up Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford right now is 81.
And Dennis Quaid right now is 69.
Nice. Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, that could have been. That's a shame that they haven't been together in something.
Yeah. Amanda Pete's in this movie? What? Hilary Duff is an uncredited extra in this movie?
Playing by her?
Who is Amber? Is there a character named Amber in this movie?
Playing by her?
Yeah.
Well, let me go to IMDb instead of.
I'm also on the IMDb.
That's easy.
We're gonna figure this out, folks.
So
It
wait,
says Amanda Pete as Amber.
but we talking about Hilary Duff.
No pictures. And Hilary Duff.
I would have caught
As
that.
an uncredited extra. No pictures of her either. Yeah.
She
anyway.
must have been in the club or something. But no, how old was she at that point? She's probably super young. She's probably doing.
So this was from '98. So 11.
So is there like a school scene or anything in this movie?
I don't know.
That's crazy though. Damn.
Anyway.
That's cool. I gotta tell Alicia that she loves Hilary Duff.
So yeah, I was very confused by Quaid's entrance and how absolutely intense that scene was. It totally threw me off.
He might have been the most interesting character in this movie.
I thought he was gonna be a serial killer or something.
Like, yeah, I was like, what's the? I was like, there's gonna be some kind of crazy payoff with this. But he's just like, even at the end, he's like at the wedding, he's like talking to the kid with the blue hair. Keenan.
And Keenan, he's like, dude, you've got an amazing imagination. And that's what reignites his wife's interest in him.
Yeah, because the whole thing with like, he said like, oh, he made video games. Like, oh, anything I would know, and he said like, hot shit,
Killer golf.
something golf. Yes, killer golf.
golf.
It's like, whoa, my favorite, man. It's like you guys have a great imagination. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Killer golf, dude. That's almost as good as GTA 5.
Hot Shots Golf.
Part 2.
Part D.
Yeah, he might have been the most interesting character in the whole movie, especially when you realize that like the person that he kind of is at home kind of is who he is. Like it's who he's become. And then all these other characters that are so confusing to you because you don't understand. You think he's being like a sick fuck. Do you think the other people were actors as well? Do you think they were improvising, or do you think he was just like going and ruining people's nights?
No, I think he was just doing that to.
No, but like, do you think the women that he was interacting with? Do you think they were part of the class?
I don't think so. No, because especially like the first girl, I don't think she was like, hip to it. I think, and then like the girl at the bar, towards the end when they're drinking all night and stuff.
Yeah, and she's like, "Don't let him drive home. I'm a lawyer."
Yeah. So, is she a lawyer? Ask the question.
Yeah, that's.
It's like a mind fuck. You don't know who's
Yeah.
who's being truthful, and it's like a murder mystery. But I don't know. I mean, they even advertise in the plot. He goes out to bars to hit on people, and that's I feel like that's something someone would do. It's like as an improver to kind of also work on your craft, but also maybe get laid. You're like, I could pretend to be anybody I want. And
Okay, but who is Valerie?
Valerie was.
She's a member of the class.
Yeah. That was the one I was following him everywhere. Because like, we were wondering that, like, why is...
I thought it was like a detective or something.
No, they're in class together. 'Cause when they finally talk...
No. But through the whole movie, I thought.
Oh, yeah, like she was
It
like...
was a
after
detective.
Yeah. Or like a crazy ex or something. Or maybe, like, I thought that guy was, like, his wife... Because we mentioned that they're married... They might be married or whatever. So... Yeah, it was very interesting. What a... Dennis Quaid... gets if it's a Dennis Quaid score this week, it's got to be a 10 for me. I think Dennis Quaid was awesome.
Yeah. He was better in this than he was in Dragonheart.
Oh yeah,
sure.
oh yeah, Redemption.
He was better suited to this.
We didn't really get him and Connery interacting in this. They were in the same
Not
like
until
area.
The end.
But they don't really talk. I don't think.
Yeah, they don't interact.
So that was the only sad I felt. I was like, oh come on, man.
And then and it just hit me. That's he's talking. It's like. When Hugh and Gracie have their scene together at home, they're like, all right, so we'll go separately. It's to the anniversary.
Yeah, and same thing with Roger, and they were saying like, oh, does this change anything about Saturday? And we assume like, oh, they're gonna hook up again on Saturday, but no, he's gonna go officiate the fucking ceremony.
Insane.
It was
Insane.
such a reveal after reveal. It just hit you so hard, man. It was crazy.
Oh, it was good.
Oh,
I love Paul and Hannah's house. Sean Connery as Paul and Gina Rollins as Hannah. I love their house.
oh yeah. I had a quote. Speaking of that, the whole thing with the her doing her cooking show. And she drops like the steak or whatever on the ground, and the quote is only you know what happens in the kitchen, and it immediately cuts to Connery like kind of sneaking around the corner, and I said, oh, but I know. But he literally watched it all happen, and he still ate it afterwards. He took a bite out of it. It's like, wait, no.
Yeah, 5-second rule.
It's like 5-second rule in this
and
house.
then they immediately cut, and the director's like, I smell an Emmy. It's like, are you keeping that in? You're not going to do another take? That's a wrap.
Yeah, like at least do it, like cut it or something. And she just kept going with it. She kept her honesty. I was like, all right.
I love when film or television productions are represented in film, because there's always some half-assed part of it like that where it's like, and that's a wrap. Like, you don't want to do another take of that?
Oh yeah.
Like, surely that's how that would be done. Like, nope. And that,
I wish they would cut to like the cold open of Goldmember when Spielberg is like,
Austin Pussy.
yeah, when he has the Emmy and they start doing fucking backflips.
that's an Oscar.
Or an Oscar.
Oh yeah.
It's like, for an Oscar here, yeah, he thinks everything's perfectly fine. I do have some thoughts. And then jumping again back to the wedding, did you notice Connery's shoes? He was wearing a fly tuxedo, beautiful tuxedo.
Oh yes.
But he's
no. Let me look.
But he's wearing white shoes, and for a split second, I thought they were the "You Only Live Twice" shoes.
Oh, he is wearing white shoes.
They're like, but
man.
when you get the last shot, they're like, it looks like tennis shoes. They're like this tennis shoes.
They are tennis shoes, and you know why? Because she says he wore jeans to our wedding, and now he's complaining about having to wear a tuxedo. So that's a little character thing where he's compromising by wearing tennis shoes. Because it's in his own backyard.
And what a great, like, kind of, like, nod to be like, oh, he's complaining about wearing a tuxedo. The guy's known for wearing a tuxedo. So I thought that was... And there was one quote from the wife that hit really quick. I had to rewind it. She said, how did that thunderbolt hit you? And I thought she said thunderball.
Well, his answer, how did that thunderbolt hit you? Shocking. Positively shocking.
But yeah, I thought the shoes were do you know what shoes I'm talking about from You Only Live Twice? If you look up, like, I have a picture of them here, actually.
Yeah, sure.
Let me share it. It's like, they're kind of iconic. I think actually Matt Myra talks about it because he has a pair of them. I think he bought a pair of them or something. Those are like the iconic, like, those super white shoes.
Oh, yes.
You remember those?
Yes.
There they are, which was like always so kind of like different for him. But I think it was just because, like, the whole
I like it.
Asian culture, I guess. But like, yeah, I was like, I thought that'd be a fun
What's that
little
one
nod.
of Craig on the bike in No Time to Die?
This one right here.
No, yeah. Okay.
This is
I thought it
was a
be-
poster,
yeah,
I think.
Just looks good.
Yeah, that's a great shot. I was like, that's one of the shots I was really excited about when they was showing the posters for it. Like, remember, we're waiting for this freaking movie,
What's
man.
that shot that your mouse was over?
This one
No, back up.
on a boat.
No, with the hood in the dark there. Yeah, right there.
Uh,
Oh, it's from Young.
Oh, yeah, it's
Justice
when-
when he kills the guy. Yeah,
he's got the
okay.
mask on. Oh, we can't look at these.
COVID precautions.
We can't look at these yet. We're not ready for this movie yet. We're not there yet. But yeah, I thought that was a funny little touch. But it was great to see him in a tuxedo, and yeah, little white shoes. In my head, I think it was like the Olive Twist shoes. In my head.
He's in one of those scenes. We see him working at his desk, and he's writing a letter, and he frantically puts it back into an envelope as Hannah turns the corner. And we see later on, Hannah pulls it out, and it's an envelope that says "Last Will and Testament." But what she didn't understand is that it was just his envelope with his tickets to the Last Will and Testament tour of 1988, when the band Testament toured, and they had he had a metal band at the time called Last Will.
There it is.
They were the opening band, and that's a folder full of his memories.
There it is.
From that tour in 1988 when he opened for Testament.
Oh, beautiful. I actually believed you. You're like Dennis Quaid.
I'm an excellent speed metal drummer. The world wasn't ready for what we had to offer at the time.
That's why my
Neither-
feet are all fucked up, because the double bass fucked me up over the years.
And that's why I don't like that my daughter is a drinker, because our band was ultimately split up by alcoholics. Great quote from him. Hold on, I've got it here. Where's the line? Here it is. I may just have enough time left to become an alcoholic.
I have that on my notes as well.
He is great. Okay. Yeah, Twin Towers Entertainment Law.
We see a vodka martini. We see a couple of vodka martinis in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of vodka martinis in this movie. Vespers martini.
Vespers martinis.
I like this. Let's just go through these screenshots I have. I like this quote that Jon Stewart says. "I'm not men. I'm not a group. Just me." She's trying to lump him in with all the people that have treated her so badly. And his defense is really strong. I'm not men. I'm not a group. I'm just me.
I like that. Jon Stewart was pleasantly a surprise in this movie. I thought he was really cool, because I've never really seen a Jon Stewart movie per se.
Yeah, same. I've never really seen him not doing his thing.
Yeah, like comedy, The Daily Show, whatever. Like, let me see his... Why is he not in the main list here? There we go, Jon Stewart. Filmography. Like, what else has he done film-wise? Because a lot of it's like...
Batman v Superman?
He plays himself. Because we see The Daily Show, I think, at some point.
Wait, in The Faculty, he plays Professor Edward Furlong? What?
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he's in Death to Smoochie.
Oh, yeah, that I know. He's in that. I remember that one. But yeah, he doesn't have a really tall list of stuff.
A lot of television stuff.
Yeah, I remember he had like the Jon Stewart show, which was really funny. It didn't really last for long. That's like a couple of years probably. But yeah, there's a lot of comedy stuff. So yeah, he hasn't done a ton of films.
Some voice acting. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Since You've Been Gone.
Since you've been
He's on an
gone.
episode of Mr. Show. Huh. And yeah, he's in Half Baked, of course, as enhancement smoker.
Oh yeah.
I really like this quote. I'll have to roll that one around my tongue later, unless you've got better ideas. Newish twist. Continue. I just like it because of the way. I forget what her name is, but she flutters her eyes, and it's just fucking hilarious.
I have a know about her. where when they're sitting at the bar and she gets up to leave, she kind of falls down a little bit.
Yes.
I thought she was just like a little person. But then she got back up and like, oh, never mind. She just like tripped on herself getting up.
It just calls her drag queen. Lana. Is it Lana?
Might be Lana.
Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, really funny. I really like this quote of don't look at me with that tone of voice. That's really good.
They're cute. They're cute together.
They're really
They're-
cute
do
together.
you have a screenshot of the little like dog impression Connery does? And
No, but I'm going to make a video of that and post that on social media because, good Lord, that might be the greatest thing in this entire movie of her saying bed and him acting like a dog and hopping along while, wagging his tongue and breathing heavy.
his little hands.
Oh, my Lord, that might have been the best moment of the whole
That
movie.
was so funny. So good.
I so much so that I gave it 2 hearts on my paper.
Oh, it deserves 2 hearts.
It was amazing. Let me just finish up these screenshots here. This final shot of the film, that the credits start rolling over, reminds me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh.
And I wonder if that's the same house.
Maybe.
Oh, I did get a shot of it. Okay.
Yeah, they're the shoes.
Yeah, I really like how this last shot is the 4 of them, the 4 couples.
Yeah.
And then this shot here, the pianist in the background, the miming of the musicians is really not great. If you watch the pianist in the background, it's
He's not really playing. It doesn't look like he's playing.
no, he's just kind of pushing his hands down. Anyway. So, all right, I think that wraps up the screenshots that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can stop that. Okay. Barley. Talk about big old Barley,
Okay.
the dog.
Oh, the dog was fucking. Him and Jon Stewart in the bed was like hilarious. Like you really see the mass of that dog. And me and Alicia looked over to him like, this is why we don't have big dogs. Because like our dog already, Bo, he's a small,
Bo.
he's a pugapoo, and he's about 28 pounds.
Say that one more time.
He's a pugapoo,
What is that?
half pug, half poodle.
Oh,
So
a pug of poo.
he's a whole pug of poo.
I would call it a poog.
A poog.
Yeah.
I think there might be a poog thing.
Or a
out there.
puggle. Wouldn't it be a puggle?
Puggle, I think, is something else. I feel like there's a puggle too. Let's look up puggles.
Yeah, Puggle 2, The Awakening.
Puggle. Puggles are pugs and beagles.
Oh.
So yeah.
Look at that, you learn something new every day.
So pugapoos. People think he's a terrier, but he's just a little derpy pug poodle. And the pug comes out all the time because he's very sassy and.
A long ass fucking time ago in a town called
Pugapoo.
Pugapoo, there lived a humble family.
Oh, he's adorable.
Bo. Okay.
Oh, I love that dog.
What else you got? I love Bo. He's great.
He's
He's
a
dog.
great dog. How that bookshelf scene where the bookshelf like comes down on her,
And she's instantly killed.
and then the village people come out. Like there's that like it's like all like Magic Mike village people, construction workers.
Yeah, they're like barely dressed.
Like what are they working on? Like they're just like putting up like a fucking foundation or something. They're like,
They're making sparks.
and I'm like, you guys couldn't move like this bookshelf out of the way. That's clearly like 3 pounds. Just,
yeah, why would you put it not against a wall?
yeah, it's just against like it's because it reveals a big opening and there's like plastic covering and stuff, and then like a bunch of sexy construction workers come out like, whoa, what's going on here?
The plot bookcase is here.
Yeah, the flop bookcase.
It's meant to move the plot along,
Oh,
so we put it here.
It's like, hey Jim, can you move that plot device next to the opening of the construction site, please?
Can you grab that plot device? It's next to my stack of MacGuffins.
And then I have, let's see, So young Jon Stewart. That was really cool to see young Jon Stewart. And then, what did you think of Angelina Jolie in this movie?
At first, I didn't like her at all. I loved her look. She had a great look going on.
She had
like the cartoonish flame back hair,
and she would put like bedazzled like hearts on her shirt, and even at the end, which she's
and
wearing
on her face too. She'd always have like a stripe or a star or
it's
something.
very
makeup.
David Bowie. She's like David Bowie-esque,
Yeah.
and I thought she was cool. I had a note here, and as he was saying it while I was watching the film, I was like, it's just something about these like late 90s Miramax films. Younger actors just have that kind of cadence, speech like pattern that like kind of annoys me when like every time I talk it's a fucking monologue, and it just doesn't feel authentic to me. Like, kind of think of like You're Chasing Amy and stuff like that, where it's like they go on. It's like, well, Jim called today. What a loser! And it's like it doesn't feel authentic to me. It's the way
that was weird. That was a weird delivery. But I know exactly what you're trying to say.
But that's how
you take the whole opening monologue.
Yeah, but but that's how they deliver
jazz. Trumpeter, saxophonist.
But the way they deliver everything, it's kind of like, oh man, just live. I'm not giving an exact quote, but it's like
you're not doing any example.
But like
but I know exactly what you're saying.
Like, because Angelina Jolie,
she talks like she's on Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, and she talks for so long that I found myself tuning out during her stories because I just couldn't take
her argument on the phone.
Like, yeah. It's like, I wish I could pull up a direct quote, but like,
you know what? Here, I'll punch something in because I know exactly what you're trying to describe.
And he just kept shaking his head and he said, Joan, you can't talk about music. Talking about music is like dancing about architecture. I just said, well, fine. You're gonna get all philosophical on me. It's just as pointless as talking about a lot of things. Love, for instance. And my friend laughed and he said, definitely, most definitely. Talking about love is like dancing about architecture. Yeah, so I don't know. You might be right. But it ain't gonna stop me from trying.
Unless you had the dialogue in front of you, you can't make it up. I know, I can see your face trying to you're trying to form, I know what I'm trying to say of what I hate them saying, but I hate it so much that I can't even replicate it.
It's the Kevin James bit that he's doing stand up where he talked about telephone rhythm and how when you say a phone number you go bum 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 bum, and that's the classic rhythm. But the way they talk, it's kind of like da 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 da. Yeah, it's kind of like it's like talk like a regular person. Like people don't talk like that in real life. You know what I mean? But then you go to people like Jon Stewart. I feel like didn't have that problem. He was Connery obviously was just Connery. So they felt authentic. That's the one thing we'll talk about in the reviews later. But I was gonna hint to it. Connery. My wife said oh man, Connery felt like one of the few authentic people when he was speaking.
Oh, I disagree. I'm gonna say it's the flip of that. I agree entirely with what you're saying about the line delivery, but I think the only people that were subject really to it were Angelina Jolie as Joan and Madeline Stowe as Gracie.
Yeah.
And Madeline Stowe was an older actor at the time, but her way of speaking in a lot of her scenes was that same way of, it goes a little too high up in the cadence and here's the quirky older sister and it's that kind of way where where you hear it and it's people don't actually speak that way, and it's hard for you and I to conjure up examples right now from our memory. Because we're real people speaking to each other.
Yeah,
and
so
not saying that these aren't real people. Angelina Jolie and Madeline Stowe are real people that exist. But at this point they've read a line that has been written by a person and probably gone through some kind of filter.
It
and
feels
then it's
like
gone through their own filter, and they've had to repeat it for however many times it took for them to, one, memorize it, and two, get the scene right.
Yeah, at times it feels like an audition tape. It's just like very unrealistic. Although
I agree with that.
But while we're talking
The
about
opening seems like Angelina Jolie's audition scene. Like she auditioned with the monologue in that opening scene.
yeah, absolutely.
Which I do like, actually, how that opening monologue comes back later in the plot as you realize that it was it was a moment from later on in the plot plopped right there into the middle.
Yeah, that was very
into the
interesting.
beginning, excuse me. Into the beginning. Sorry, continue.
So, since we're talking about performances, this is a great time to open up this part of my notes. This is actually an Alicia note. Alicia is the ghost guest of this episode. So Ryan Felipe as Keenan. So she works. She's a coda, which is like they specialize in kind of like special needs people and whatnot. She believed that Keenan's character may have been on the spectrum. Which I thought was a very interesting observation because especially before you, I mean, then again, we kind of find out why he is the way he is because of his past and, you know, who he's lost and all that. But the way he delivers stuff, he's very, like, when they're talking, he just seems, you know, he has, like, no filter. He's really kind of like just saying it how it is. You know, he doesn't drink, likes to dance alone, all that. And like that's kind of like it seems like someone who might be on the spectrum. So I was wondering if he was playing that, you know, as the character.
I think he might have been. And you can imagine how much that level of life-altering hurt would affect somebody. And then you add on top of it if they were already autistic.
Yeah, so I thought that was fascinating.
And you can maybe understand as that might have been a little more of explaining the naivete when he doesn't realize that, you know, the woman that he was seeing that died was seeing so many other people and was the way he was. Like that may have been part and parcel with that. Like if he was on the spectrum, he may not have known that the woman he loved was a heroin user that was cheating on him all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. I do love his dancing alone entrance. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I like how it kind of comes
it's
back.
A great intro to his character.
Yeah, and I like how it kind of comes at the end at the wedding.
He's dancing with her
and like stepping on her feet and stuff. Like this is also why I like to dance alone. That was like a fun little like bit at the end, and like very gooey. Romantic, like I love you more than anything. You could step on my feet anytime. I love you so much because you love, like that's so much very like, you know, throw open your mouth lovey-dovey stuff in this movie. But
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It's like,
I didn't mind any of it.
Alicia likes to rate kissing in movies, and she hates how Jon Stewart kisses.
Dude, I have that note as well. Jon Stewart kisses. Ew. He's like basketball handing her face.
At one point puts like his thumb like
right on the tip of the corner of her mouth. Like he's like, I just like to feel the hole before I kiss it.
Open up.
Just make sure you also had a crumb there. It was really bothering me.
If we're rating kissing in this movie, any Angelina Jolie kiss is always going to be a 10 out of 10 for me because, man, those iconic Angelina Jolie lips, just gorgeous, beautiful.
And Ryan Phillippe is, however you say his last name, he's an attractive man. And I wrote that he could have played Anakin.
Ooh.
I bet he auditioned for Anakin.
Let's see. Phillippe is known for Crash, 2004's Crash, Gosford Park, 54,
Cruel Intentions.
He just did Miranda's Victim.
That sounds like a great film.
Looks like a look at that poster.
I don't share it.
Sorry, hold on. So yeah, it looks like he's done like he looks like he's like do like the biggest films of all time. But
the biggest films of all time.
Oh, God, decent. Andy Garcia's in this movie.
Let's see the poster.
It was this one.
The
This guy-
fuck?
Oh,
Okay.
what's his name? Is that it?
Okay, but there's a good cast.
Yeah, not a bad cast at all.
Just a bad poster.
Yeah, really bad poster. We should,
Donald Sutherland, Kyle MacLachlan,
yeah.
Abigail Breslin.
Luke
Wilson.
Wilson
Yeah, that's a good
was
cast.
interesting. Yeah.
It's a good cast here.
Yeah. Well, welcome to.
All right. Miranda's Victim Curious.
Yeah. All right. We should do all the.
But 2 hours long, no thanks.
Yeah, we don't need that much.
This movie was 2 hours. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, even 2 hours.
It felt a little bit of its length.
Yeah, I really like. We actually, when we cut it out last night, we're like hit the hour mark. So I was like, okay, good. This is like nice. Stop at the halfway. It was a good lull in the story, I think, and I could be like, all right, let's start back up. I think we stopped at like I forget exactly where we stopped, but it was a good time to stop, take a break for a little bit.
I feel like we should do a Connor beat just to be natural, right as you say that. I'm like, just as you're talking about breaks, I'm like, wouldn't it be amazing symmetry to be like, well, I got a Connor beat. Bring. I don't, but
We'll be
Anyway.
right back.
and I'll go count my money. I wrote that down because that's a clip I really want to pull from this movie. Let me make a marker of that so I remember to do that. Do you know what I'm talking about when we see Meredith's play? When we see Meredith's play, the final line in that, the rich man in the robe turns to the audience and goes, and I'll go count my money. Cut to black.
I had a note too. This movie really likes its day to night transitions.
Yeah, I didn't mind
'Cause
it.
at the end, they do a really cool one where it's like
They do like a night to day to night.
I like at the end it was like the pier at during the day, then like at night the Ferris wheel illuminates and stuff. I thought it was really cool, but I feel like it was kind of weird in certain aspects. There was like one scene, I forget which one it was in particular, but it was at night, and then it cuts to a day scene. No, it cuts to a night scene, transition scene. Then it goes to day and back to night, and it cuts to Gracie and Roger in the hotel room in bed. And I was like, is that to symbolize a day has gone by, or like what was the point? It felt unnecessary. You could have just kept like a nighttime scene in a transition,
Yeah.
and then moved on. But like it was just
you didn't
weird.
even need those transitions.
Yeah,
I think
not at
you could
all.
have just had this next scene be at night, and I think we as the audience would have
I
been able to figure
appreciate
that
it
out.
for like the art form of kind of like showcasing Los Angeles, but like
Yeah,
it just
and
felt
those,
unnecessary.
Time lapse shots are nice,
Yeah, like they
but yeah, I agree.
yeah they had their cool moments, but you didn't need to drill it into our head every 5 minutes. Just move on to the next scene. It's like showing you, all right, next chapter, we're on to the next couple, and like it felt like a reality show almost, like kind of like a like a dating show where it's like a transition to the next, like 90 Day Fiance. It does that all the time. Which, by the way, I had a note. Big Ed is in this movie.
What?
It's not really
Where?
him, but remember the bartender with like the kind of like
Oh,
Judas
yes. Oh, my
Priest
God.
outfit on? Like he looked just like Big Ed. Even
That was a funny ending to that bit.
yeah,
I gotta be honest.
yeah.
Like, yeah, like there's a level I'm committing to this improv. I'm not going home with this bartender.
Yeah, yeah. He's like too much.
Can we take a Connor P real quick?
Let's do it.
Let's do
We'll
it.
be right back.
Alrighty, I'm still recording. You still recording?
recording.
Excellent. Okay, I'm back. The pace has slowed now because I've decided to take a later train. And, yeah, so now I don't have to rush super quick.
Beautiful.
And we can take a little more time to talk about this movie. Mario, I made some mint chocolate chip cookies.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a big
from
cookie.
Scratch. Yeah, it is a very big cookie. Cukey?
Cukey.
So I'm going to be enjoying that while we do our podcast here. Okay. what else do we have for notes?
I may have. Let me see. I may have.
Gay Quaid. I love Gay Quaid.
Gay Quaid.
He's great. Him playing that gay character is too funny. Because he does it so well. And him talking about sleeping with his wife's brother. Too funny. Yeah, what else you got?
I'm looking through now. I think I went through all my notes. Let me just double check. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that scene of Keenan and Joanne in the car in the VW Bug. Talking, they're kind of crying about I love you, all that, and
amazing scene. That's where she really turned for me.
Yeah,
that's where I really started to love her.
Yeah,
character.
and but Keenan doing the kind of Scott Evil runaway, where it's like Dr. Evil, I just want everyone to know, not everybody in my family, my gene pool runs like a girl. Thank you very much. But where did the rain go? It was pouring rain on the windows, and he goes out, and there's no rain happening.
It's a light drizzle.
Yeah, it's just we're...
And he runs away flailing his arms.
Oh. Where did he run to? We went to go run to
He runs right into a wall.
He turns the corner and he hits a wall. Oh my God! But I thought that was a very weird end to one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yes, it was a very weird end to one of the best scenes in the movie. Yes, that was a heartbreaking scene.
Yeah, it really is.
And then I really, really love the scene where he comes back.
Yeah, shows up to the house and all that, and then
she takes her retainer out.
Oh yeah, and we have that adorable one-eyed cat.
Blanche, I was just about to bring up Blanche.
Oh.
Good Lord, Blanche is terrifying. My note is Blanche. Ah!
Yeah,
but then you start to really appreciate how adorable Blanche
I like when
is.
they're in bed and have the candlelit room, and it's what are we gonna do with our cat? And it focuses, and the cat was laying there the whole time, oh, wow.
She's got a good eye on you.
She's got an eye.
But also, don't knock over any of those candles. Either people just so cavalierly throwing that blanket around, or cat. You got a shitload of candles in that room. It's like a Creed music video in there.
Yeah, really, that's dangerous.
So dangerous.
Oh.
So I have a note. Oh, anger ball. When that started to come up more than once, I started to get concerned that the writing may have been bad.
Mm.
You know? When you hear two completely different characters say the same kind of turn of phrase or something, it's either intentionally clever or it's a sign of really bad writing. I as the writer have a specific phrase I really like, and I give it to this one character to say, and then I give it to another character to say, but I've forgotten that I've given it to a character. You know what I mean? So I thought it was that at first. I'm like, oh no, did the writer forget that they used anger ball already? But then you realize why. They're a family. And I think it's Connery that uses the term anger ball at the end, right?
It's anger ball.
Bueno, anger. Bueno, anger. Wow. Saint anger around my neck. He never gets respect. You flush it out. You flush it out.
Anger balls in my neck.
What? You got balls in your
balls
neck?
in your neck. That's what movie? Hugh Jackman had balls on his chin. That was Date movie or something.
Movie 42.
Oh, movie 42. That's what it was.
Forgive me, I had a cookie in my mouth.
Let's see. So we kind of skipped around with notes, but my last note, which is kind of in the middle of my notes, which is funny. Jon Stewart has a Sean Connery moment in this movie. When I get to the kitchen in his house, his beautiful home, and he
Yeah. Oh my God, his house.
Yeah, it's
holy
insane.
shit. I had a note on that Trent's house. Holy shit.
beautiful house. But when he reveals that he can't cook and he ordered Chinese, the doorbell rings and he goes to run and almost takes a spill in the pool, kind of like how Connery almost took a spill in the dock in Action of the Tiger.
Whoa! All right.
If you go
hold on,
back
I'm
to it,
pulling this
it
up.
looks like almost shot for shot. It almost looks like he's going to go in the. He doesn't actually like go to fall, but he navigates pretty well. But he comes pretty close to falling in the pool. Pretty close.
Sorry, I want to see this.
Oh, it's crazy. It happens really quick. But I was like, oh my God, I freaked out about it.
Dennis Quaid with glasses definitely looks like Harrison Ford.
Oh my God, it's like he's trying to be. Maybe Harrison Ford doesn't like him. And that's why they haven't acted together. He's too much like me.
Oh wow, he hops right over the corner of the pool.
Right.
Well, he doesn't really hop, but he runs over the corner of the pool,
Right?
and he's definitely taking a risk there. Make a little corner. Run around the corner. Anyway, I really like how Joan stops drinking. She just lets the gulp fucking fall out of her mouth and drops the glass. And then tells the bartender, the waiter to screw.
That poor vegetable. Another martini.
Wasted.
Wasted.
Vespers
They should have.
I'm trying to become an alcoholic.
They should have cut to like when the glass broke. They should have cut to Connery at his desk, and he's like, "Oh."
I felt the disturbance. In the force.
As if 1,000 martini glasses screamed to existence and suddenly
Shattered in silence.
a bunch of olives just started screaming.
Suddenly silenced.
Yeah, missed opportunity. I was hoping at one point everyone drinks a martini except for Connery in this movie. He has
Right? You should have had him have
he has
one.
champagne at the end, but I was hoping someone would be like, "Oh, martini," and he kind of,
I like how they take to Keenan more because Joan has stopped drinking now.
Oh yeah, they love him.
Like, well, it must be because of you. Lay it down, child. Lay it down, child. And walk into this room. Just going in order of my notes. Trent's house, love. Jon Stewart's kisses, ew. Don't knock those candles over. Barley again with a giant heart. The Barley, every time I write Barley, he gets 2 lines and the heart gets 2 lines. So, because Barley's a big boy. The priest, 3 exclamation points. And my final note is that the end music, the final piece of music at the dance at the anniversary scene, as it rises, the camera rises up and the music kind of swells up, feels like it's about to go into "We have all the time in the world." That you got a good Louis.
We have all the time in the world.
You want to hear my Louis impression?
Your Louis impression.
Do you mind if I masturbate in front of you?
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey!
Oh goodness.
But yeah, I wonder if that's John Barry. Like, he can't help it. Like, it's falling into his own cues, into his old cues of like, I must swell into romantic Louis Armstrong. Anyway, so that's my last note. How about you? You had a note?
That's it. But I thought it would be fun to read a couple of interesting trivia and goofs about the movie.
Yeah.
There's a couple of goofs that involve.
I'm gonna go through as well.
So there's only 3 that I really have here. One up until the I actually noticed this. Up until the end of the movie, Angelina Jolie does not have her dragon tattoo on her left arm. When all the couples meet for their parents to renew their vows, you can see that she has a red saran wrap heart on her left arm. That's why it's there, because she's a tattoo.
Maybe she got it for Keenan.
But I remember that was an iconic tattoo, and she got that tattoo, and everyone went nuts. Throughout the entire movie, whenever, so this is fun, a martini goof. Throughout the entire movie, whenever there's a scene, and there are many, involving martinis, between shots, the olives and level of vodka in the glass changes. This happens many times when a character either eats an olive or is about to eat one. It will reappear in the glass seconds later. Also, many times where the character is starting to say something and the view is changed to be from their point of view and their lips are no longer moving. So I didn't notice that. We got to go back to the martinis.
Those are a lot of common film continuity.
Yeah, it's like
sure.
it's like fill, it's full, it's empty, blah blah. And last one, speaking of the cat, although Joan's cat is called Blanche and is consistently referred to as a she, the actual animal is a male tomcat. And then one last piece of trivia here. Sir Sean Connery took just $60,000 as his salary for this movie, as he was keen to play a character his age in a relationship with someone of his own age. This was a far cry from the $14 million he earned on The Rock, 1996.
Okay, so I'm going through the trivia here as well. Most of John Barry's score was replaced by a new score by Christopher Young.
I was going to say, because nothing really felt John Barry-ish in this movie.
Yeah. Barry's credit on the movie was retained. However, a CD was released with Barry's largely unused score. Okay, hold on. I want to find this. John Barry score for Playing by Heart. Okay.
I'll have to give that a listen.
All right, I've got it right here. John Barry, Chet Baker, and Chris Body. Wow. All right, I'm sending this over to you.
Hell
right
yeah.
now. It's the whole album is here on YouTube.
Perfect.
57 minutes.
Perfect. But okay, yeah, that's about all my notes.
For next week we've started doing the score of the scores. So I think we're going to have to give this one a proper listen and re-rank it next week.
Yeah, we'll open the show with our ranking for this.
The score for this one. Yeah. So that's interesting. I got a couple more IMDb trivia here that I thought were
hit me.
Interesting. So,
try to find some Connery ones. I want to hear more about his Connery stuff.
So Angelina Jolie was offered the role of Trinity in The Matrix, but had to turn it down because of her commitment on this film.
Wow.
Ryan Phillippe didn't tell them that he was going to dye his hair, and he just showed up like that. The title was originally Dancing About Architecture. But that I don't like that movie. That title, excuse me. I think Playing by Heart is
way better.
Yeah.
Another working title was If They Only Knew, apparently.
This was the final movie to receive the 2 thumbs down from critics Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel. Really?
Ooh, the house in which Trent John Stewart lives in is the same house used for Tim Allen's character in Galaxy Quest and Colin Firth's character in Where the Truth Lies. Look at that.
All right. Well, I think we've scoured the IMDb trivia here enough.
So. So, do you think it's time for that special moment where we?
Well, before we do, hold on. I'm just going through the quotes here because I think maybe now we could maybe channel some of that you're talking about. I do like the top quote here is Paul's. The wonderful thing about falling in love is that you learn everything about that person and so quickly. And if it's true love, then you start to see yourself through their eyes, and it brings out the best in you. It's almost as if you're falling in love with yourself.
I like that.
That's something that. Yeah. So I'm trying to find a good Joan line here. The lad doesn't say much to me, and when he does, he finds just the right words to crush my soul. I feed the fucking thing. I take her out to the vet. All you do is pet her twice a day, which is a hell of a lot more than you've been doing to me lately. Like that kind of dialogue. I know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it's like just...
No, I heard what you said, and I'll admit what was a rather banal, cliche, non-colorful response. What I really meant to say was, why don't you do the world a big fat fucking favor and crawl back into your mother's womb?
Yeah,
Like-
super intense and weirdly... what's the word I'm looking for? Iterated.
Scripted. Written.
Written.
Yeah. I did like that scene, though, where she stands up to the complete fucking pervert. Anyway, okay, so yeah, I think it might be time we get into our scores. I think you're right.
As you guys know,
Sorry.
towards the end here, we like to rate not only the film and the Sean, but we like to rate the sexiness and if the SHs
And we've started doing the scores now as well.
and the scores.
Like the musical scores.
Scores.
The score of the score.
Score of the score. And again, like I mentioned earlier, I do have Alicia's scores along with mine. So, I'm gonna have you go first this week.
Okay, you want me to go
I'm
first?
gonna have you go first this week.
All right, so let's start with the SH rating, right? As we always do.
Yes.
I'm giving that a 9. The H is thick on that S in every sentence that Connery says. It's a very thick S. How about you?
I gave it an 8.5, but I'm willing to boost it up to a 9 as well.
You gonna give it a 9?
I'll give it a 9.
Alrighty, on to the sexy rating. Me first, or you still?
Sexy. It'll have you keep going first.
All right, I'm gonna give it a 4. How about you?
What's your reasoning?
Okay. Forgive me. I feel like I'm off today for some reason. This wasn't a very sexy film. This was a more romantic film. Like, it was a film about love and sex. Wait a second, Mario. We can't get into our scores yet. We've completely forgotten, to discuss the best part of this movie.
Which one is that?
Ellen Burstyn, who had me bursting into tears. She plays Mildred, the mother of Mark, who is dying of AIDS. Her performance in this film is just destructive. I was destroyed by how good her performance was. Ellen Burstyn, if you've never seen her in anything, go watch her in things. The two that I would really suggest that she's very well known for are The Exorcist and Requiem for a Dream, both of which she gives incredible performances. In this movie, her performance absolutely destroyed me. She plays a woman who has just denied herself all this happiness in life and stayed so safely conservative, for lack of a better term. So much so that she doesn't discuss basic feelings with her son. And she has to find out that he's gay through his fatal AIDS diagnosis. What'd you think of Jay Moore as Mark?
I thought he was fine. You know, there's not much to kind of really pull from him because, you know, he is bedridden the whole time and he has to, you know, really sell it. But yeah, I thought it was a very emotional performance for sure. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I feel like Mildred made that scene. So yeah, what'd you think of Mark?
I thought Jay Moore did fine, but he felt like a theater student playing a sick kid. And he did a very good job of that. But his performance did not evoke the tears and destructive energy that Ellen Burstyn's character
did. Her performance was so phenomenal. Her reciting Good Night Moon to her son, and her instant when he says, "Let's play a game. I just want, let's tell each other something we'd never share with each other, before that." And she says, "I never loved your father, not for a minute." Instantly. And he just goes, "You're very good at this game." And the moment where she goes, "Well, what about your roommate Jack?" And Jack wasn't my roommate, and he died a year ago. Heartbreaking. And then the even more heartbreaking thing is that at the funeral, when Meredith shows up and they start talking about Jack,
That connection was crazy too.
Mildred's that was the first connection you get, where you realize, all these characters are interconnected. But this one line that absolutely destroyed me, where Mildred goes, they're talking about Jack, and Meredith goes, "Jack was good for Mark." And Meredith just weepingly just goes, "Well, I would have liked to have known him." She had me. I cried about 3 times during this movie, and it was all because of her. She was so good. 10 for Ellen Burstyn in this film. Anyway, I feel like we didn't talk about her at all. So
yeah, so good call. Good call.
yeah, because I discussing my sexiness rating here. This is a film about sex, but it's not a film about sex. It's a film about consequences of sex, consequences of love, and learning to love despite those things. What did you think of Connery's? What did you think of the Wendy arc? There, that character that's not that Connery almost cheated with.
Yeah, I thought that was. I thought it was interesting. It felt like I didn't feel it as much as the other characters' storylines, but yeah, that was like that was quite the arc of like who is this woman? Because at first we were kind of like, is that just her, like younger? I'm like, oh no, it's another.
As soon as she gets mad about it, you figure out it's not.
Then it's like, oh shit, okay, there it is. But yeah, I like the fact that finally he's like not really saying what she wants to hear, but then finally they have like that big talk at the end, and like it's finally like it's like, oh, I loved you, blah blah, all that. So
I thought
I thought it was okay.
I thought his speech was actually a good representation of what a lot of polyamory is about, I guess. Like if done right, it's like if I love somebody else, it allows me to greater appreciate the love I have for you. In a way, obviously that's not right for everybody, but it was an interesting way of looking at it, where it's like, okay, he's saying that because he fell in love with this other woman, it allowed him to see better aspects of himself, which allowed him to love his own wife more.
Which was kind of like what Roger and Gracie were kind of going through too, where like they're both married, but like
No, I don't think he's married. She says, "You love your wife." I think she's talking about the church.
Roger's talking about that thing where he's picked up his kids.
Oh yeah, shit, he is. Yeah, my bad.
He's like I felt it. I felt weird when I went to go pick up my kids and all that.
Yep, I completely forgot about that line. My bad.
So,
good catch.
So yeah, there's a couple of those aspects in the story with multiple partners, which was interesting, very interesting.
Who was your favorite character in this film?
Probably Hugh, man.
Yeah, same.
Probably Hugh. Hugh was great.
Yeah.
insane. Like, we talk often in our reviews of would we watch again? I'd watch it again. Yeah, I want to go watch again for Dennis Quaid, dude. Like, it was like insane. I want to dissect all those scenes.
I now want Hugh to show up in other movies in just little vignette scenes where he's like a new character, and to the point where like by the
different.
8th scene he is his character from Dragonheart.
In the armor and everything.
Yeah, but in like an office building.
Yeah. But all right, yeah. Let's get back into where we left off here.
Okay, all right. So our sexy rating, I'm giving it a 4 because there's a lot of beautiful people in this film, but this is not a sexy film at all. It's not meant to be. I'm gonna give it sexy points sheerly for the sexiness of the actors that are in it. Angelina Jolie looks great. Madeline Stowe is very, very sexy. Jon Stewart looks good. Gillian Anderson looks good. Ryan Phillippe. There's a lot of attractive people in this movie, but it's not a sexy film. So it gets points, and of course Older Connery,
Yeah.
So it gets points for that, but it's not sexy. So 4 for me. How about you?
I base my sexy rating on like the characters as well and some select scenes. I gave it a 7. I thought it was pretty sexy.
Okay.
I forgot to mention Alicia's score for the SH. We don't have to mark it officially, but she gave.
No, we'll give it. We'll give it a guest score. Okay, what's her score for the SH?
SH was 7.5, but
7.5.
she's not as attuned to Connery's voice as we are.
To the
so.
false.
So she might need to get it. She gave the sexy an 8, which was interesting.
Hold on one second.
So 7 for me, 8 for her.
7.5 and an 8 on the sexy.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really high for her.
Yeah, she thought it was sexy. She was into it. But yeah, let's move on to the film itself. Dylan, what'd you feel about the film?
Let's do the score. The score.
Oh, the score?
Yeah, let's get that one out of the way.
That I don't have a score for her, but me, it's probably a 5. It's not really anything to write home to. If we had the John Barry music, it could have been.
Yeah.
But we can't really score the score. We haven't heard the proper score
that's the thing.
yet.
I'm going by the score that's in the movie. 5.5 for me because it's a perfectly cliche 90s film score.
Yeah.
It's
I agree with that.
Nothing unique.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to hear the John Barry score for this film.
Same.
And we'll go back and re-rate it as well. Okay, so now on to the film rating. You want to go first? You want me to go?
You go first.
9.5 from me.
Ooh.
I really liked this film. Mario, it seems that some of these later Connerys involving romance, comedy, dramas they seem to be in my float in my boat.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought every actor in this was fantastic. I thought the plot was compelling and confusing enough that once the payoff paid off, it was satisfying. I liked all the characters. Did I say that already?
Yes.
Yeah, it was just it made me feel things that I was not expecting from this film. I did not expect to cry 3 times. Ellen Burstyn's performance elevates this whole thing. And Connery is great in it, which we'll get to. So 9.5 for me. How about you?
I gave it a solid 8. I thought it was really good. Like I said, I was like, tuning out at certain aspects of certain conversational pieces and whatnot. But all in all, I think it's a really, really good film and one I will watch again.
Yes, I'll definitely watch this again.
I think it's really good. Fun, possibly a decent date movie. I'd watch it with I watch it with my wife, and I thought we enjoyed it together. So I would suggest watching it with a significant other, perhaps.
Yeah, this This is a couples film. A good couples film.
Mm.
All right, let's put this in before we get on to our Sean rating. Let's pair this with another. Let's make a DVD box set with this film.
Ooh.
With ones we've already seen.
Ooh.
Because if this is a good date night movie, do we have any other good date night movies? Maybe this and The Russia House, maybe, or Cuba.
From Rush with Love is very romantic.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, and Robin and Marion.
And Robin and Marion.
Okay, so this and Memories of Me would be a good pair.
What about let's see. Is Medicine Man can be romantic, kind of.
Yeah, but Medicine Man isn't nearly as good as this film.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be an imbalanced DVD box set.
I would do Playing by Heart, First Night.
Ooh, yeah.
And what was the other one we just said?
Russia House?
Russia House or From Russia with Love.
Okay. All right, anyway.
Yeah, I think, right there.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the film rating.
All right.
Oh, wait,
you
Sean
first.
rating. We did the film rating.
Oh, yeah, Sean rating. The man himself.
Get over to it on the...
And I haven't mentioned, Alicia also said 8 for the film
For
rating.
the film? Okay. Cool. All right, our Sean rating. You want me to go?
Yes.
10.
Ooh.
He's great in this film. He's so good in this film. I loved him. I loved every moment. The dog moment clinched the 10, and that was not even halfway through the film.
Big old grandpa vibes in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah. He was so charming and heartwarming, and not once did I think that he was a cheater or that he had any malicious intent in his heart at all.
Yeah, not at all.
I got nothing but this is a good man that loves and cares for his family. And Sean Connery is committed as fuck to this role, clearly because he took quite a low pay cut. Quite a low payday, for it.
Absolutely.
Just because he wanted to play the character. So, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Excellent Connery in this film. I loved him in it, and I will watch him again in it. How about you? What are you giving him?
I think I'm going to match you, Dylan.
You giving him a 10?
I gave him a 9.5 originally for the same reasons. He's fantastic in this. Obviously, I'm always excited to see Connery in a movie. But, yeah, he's such what a good character, what a good man.
In Africa.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant in this movie. So I gave him a 9.5, but you sold me. I think I'm going to give him an extra 0.5. Give him a solid 10.
Yeah, he's great in this film. Join me in the sunlight.
Oh, yeah. Alicia stayed under and gave him an 8.
All right, so we're going to leave her score out for that one.
Yeah, we need to give him a perfect score for this.
He gets a 10.
Yes. But, man, that is Playing by Heart. We hope you guys enjoyed our little review of this. Of course,
I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, again, I might watch it. This might be commentary territory. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a commentary territory. Commentary territory.
Commentary territory. I can rap.
You're a good rapper.
Yeah, I would
man,
definitely watch this again. I'd do a commentary with you on this.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth a rewatch together. I don't see why not. But man,
though
I
think we'd find ourselves being silent a lot of the time because it's a good film.
Yeah,
that's the problem with a good film. You do a commentary for it, you just find yourself watching it because it's a good film.
True.
I'd be afraid that's what we do. So I don't know. I'd maybe just be down for a rewatch.
Yeah, absolutely. But all right, so with that being said, guys, you know what time it is. After every review, every score is locked in.
Fuck
We
my
move on.
nipples.
We move on to wheelofnames.com to go over and check out the Wheel of Curiosities to see which film we get next week. Dylan, what are you hoping for this week?
Okay, so I'm hoping for either Entrapment would be cool, so we can get his final film of the 90s and get that music continuity of Christopher Young to Christopher Young. That'd be cool. And I've heard Entrapment is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be cool with another Bond to wrap up this little John Barry adventure, even though we'll be back to Barry once we get more Bonds. So I kind of want Thunderball and Never Say Never Again. That's kind of what I'm going for. And then what I'm not going for, what I don't want is another documentary, as we said before.
Yes. Definitely no documentaries.
I also could go without another rom-com that breaks my heart. You know? So. How about you? What do you want? What don't you want?
Definitely don't want a documentary as well. Not in the mood for it.
No. And this is not, folks, this is not because we don't like documentaries. It's just because
we want to see the man perform.
Yeah. And a lot of these documentaries are kind of obscure and short or overlong on subjects. Like Goal was like, I don't want 90 minutes on football. It's not as interesting to me. I know it's a little more interesting to you, but anyway.
Yeah, so I think for what I want, maybe we'll say a Bond.
Yeah. Anyone in particular?
We're kind of hinted on it today. Maybe You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
Maybe that, but then again, I am excited for the back-to-back episodes of Thunderball and Never Say Never Again.
Well, our chances are good for that one because we could hit either one.
Yeah, and whatever we hit, we go into it. So
yeah, let's push for that one.
Let's do that. Thunderball, Never Say Never Again double feature.
Come on, universe, give us Thunderball or Never Say Never Again.
Yes.
And Mario, you know whose turn it is to spin the wheel.
It's me.
It's you.
Make sure boy. I was actually going through as we were setting up to make sure everything was taken out. It looks like everything is up to snuff here.
Put it in alphabetical order.
Yeah, it is in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Playing by heart is out. All right, excellent. Yeah.
All right.
Looks like everything's out. And if we've forgotten it and we land on it, we'll just ignore it.
We'll watch it again.
Yeah,
no,
you know what? I mean, it depends on how good it is.
Depends on the movie.
If it's sort of the Valiant, yes.
Oh yes. But all right, it is time.
Right, so do a shuffle.
Oh yeah, we got to shuffle.
I'll say when. And when. Alrighty. I'm ready, Mario. Are you ready?
All right, I am ready. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to spin the wheel of curiosity. Oh my God.
Oh my God, Mario, you did it. You did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have You Only Live Twice.
All right, so I told you it'd be one of three things: either a complete random, either entrapment, or something to wrap up the John Barry-ness. So there we go.
We're in.
You only live twice.
Live twice. Let's go. I'm excited.
I would have preferred Thunderball myself, but You Only Live Twice. I'm excited for.
It matches up because we're getting the shoes.
Yeah, look at that.
We're getting the shoes, and I love those shoes. I love the little sports car. That's gonna be a fun one, man. It's one. I think this is the one Connery Bond I watched the least. So it is kind of one that's like exciting to watch when I do put it on. But this is one that like a lot of people, like Bond fans, will talk about. Like, Mike Myers said a lot of Austin Powers.
I mean,
was
Dr.
based
Evil
on
is
this.
done Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, like that's the entire, that's kind of like where like a lot of the inspiration came from. The sumo wrestling with Fat Bastard in Goldmember and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited to see this one. It's like a fresh look, because the ones I rewatched the most are the first three, and Diamonds Are Forever. So this one's a pleasant surprise to watch this one again.
You said that very much like it was just an end statement, like not like you were listing a film. The ones I watched the most are the first three, and Diamonds Are Forever. Like it was just a fact. Like,
Those three movies are diamonds.
It's like, I watch those movies all the time, and cookies are delicious.
Oh, man. Well, guys, be sure to
Cookies
show
are
up.
delicious. Sorry.
Delicious. Be sure, man, to join us next week on Connery Curious for You Only Live Twice. Let's go, man. Another
Of course, you
Bond.
can get that from probably your local library. Is it streaming anywhere? We've forgotten to do this section a lot at the end of.
Yeah, the Bonds
most
are a
recent
little
episodes.
easier to get to. I believe you can find them on
You Only Live Twice is on
Amazon
DirecTV
Prime.
to stream.
Yeah, Prime is probably the easiest way to rent if you have like a Fire Stick or something like that. You can rent it on YouTube for $4 as well. And they pop up, on different platforms all the time. So you can get them on Prime sometimes. They'll do like select Bond movies sometimes on Prime. It's weird. Or if you're a Bond fan like us, you might have the lovely box set. So I'll be cracking open the box set for this one for sure.
Mario, have you ever seen this poster, by the way?
Which one?
Let me share the screen here with you. This poster. You seen this poster?
Oh yeah, this one. This one always drives me insane.
Where he's
because-
gripping with his big toe and walking perfectly horizontal with his big toe.
He's like Spider-Man. It's ridiculous.
I
It's
can't
like-
wait to watch this movie.
Yeah, that's good. Do you want to do this together?
I'm down.
We gotta watch this together. I feel like have we watched a Bond together? Since we've done this yet?
Dr. No, Goldfinger, From Russia with Love.
For Us with Love was separate.
Yeah. Goldfinger was separate. Dr. No was separate.
Yeah, we haven't watched a Bond together. What's wrong with us?
Yeah.
So I think this is a good one to watch together.
So, which means we only have Thunderball, Diamonds, and Never Say Never Again.
With three Bonds left,
Oh, my Lord. That's kind of
man.
scary.
and we're gonna cut through two of them back to back.
Yeah.
with Thunderball, Never Say Never Again. Do you think Diamonds is gonna be the last Bond film we do? Oh, that'd be
Probably.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
That'd be exciting.
I think we should do. Do you want to put on the wheel? Do you want to put the From Russia with Love game?
Well, I think we discussed we want to like just do that as a separate thing on like YouTube or something, which we will do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so because it's like it's Connery in gaming, so I think that's the only game he's ever been in. I could be wrong, but like I'll look into it. But yeah, we got to do that as a separate like series. We'll do it as a series.
Yeah. Okay, and just go through the
some
whole
point.
game.
Yeah, we'll do like we'll make it like a 5 or 6 part series, however long the game is. We'll do like segments, like 2 missions at a time or something like that. So yeah, look out for that. We're going to do video content very soon, guys. We got some cool things in the works. A lot of things have been changing on my side of things as well. So we're gonna make some cool stuff very soon. We still love the support and talking to some of you guys on Instagram and stuff like that, and seeing you guys like our stuff. So
We got
we
merch
appreciate
coming.
it. Merch is coming.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now I wish merch. Can you get out of the corner there? It's really you're making us uncomfortable. You're just jerking
Yeah,
off in
right?
the corner over there.
Yeah, come on, man. This
No,
is a
no,
family
don't come
show.
on me. Get out of here.
You can't come on all of us.
Get off this podcast. I mean, get out of here.
But all right, guys. Next week we'll be back. Well, Sean Connery will return in You Only Live Twice. Until then, I've been Mario Lima.
And I've been Dylan Titus. And as always, folks,
Stay curious.
Connery Curious.
been listening to Connery Curious, a Titus Compositions and Friggin' Nerds Media podcast. Follow us on social media for updates, memes, and clips. Find us on Twitter at CuriousPod007 and on Instagram at Connery Curious. You can also visit Titus Compositions at Titus Compositions to hear other podcasts and original music, watch music videos, or even pick up a great vinyl record. For more discussion and content about your favorite films, comics, games, and a network for all things nerdy, visit Friggin' Nerds Media on Twitter at Friggin' Nerds. You can rate, review, and share the podcast in-app, which helps us grow the show and reach the other curious Connerys out there. Thanks for spending time with us, and have a great day, but also, remember, stay curious.
Good. We must go and give your mother the good news.
And I'll go count my money.